You want to jump right in?
Let's do it. Fuck it.
All right, Hudson. So I guess let's start off. You started on social media relatively soon, relatively recently, yeah?
5 months, 6 months, if that. And YouTube, like 2 months.
What made you want to start?
This is actually funny. I was thinking about this in the shower this morning. I was like, what made me want to start social media? Because when I was like 17, I thought it was like cringe. Like people posting on social media, I thought it was cringe. I never wanted to do that at all. But when I dropped out of high school, I always was like, I want to drop out because I want to tell like a story. Like I didn't believe people could like drop out and get rich. Like I always thought that was a scam. And then I did it. And I never wanted to post on social media, but I was like, this is going to be a great story. So in the back of my head, it was there because who did I want to tell the story to?
Right. Were you watching people online before you like started to make money? Were you watching other people on YouTube and social media that you looked up to?
Not really. Like I never really watched anyone. Like once I already was making a decent amount of money, I watched people. Like you were one of the people that I watched like when I was like 17, 18. But when I was like 15, no.
Yeah. Let's go way back. So you dropped out of high school.
Yeah.
What the fuck was that like? And where were you in your life where you felt kind of confident enough to do that?
I was not anywhere special. I wasn't anywhere, like, if I was making like 50 grand a month when I was 17, cool, I could have dropped out. I made a lot of money doing NFT promos. So, like, I had money saved up.
Yeah.
But I was making like 5 grand, 10 grand a month at 17. So, like, realistically, I shouldn't have dropped out, but I would wake up every day and go to school, like, with a fucked up mentality. Like, I hated it. Like, I'm not an anxious person. I don't have anxiety, but I would wake up and my heart would be right. I didn't want to go to school because this is going to sound really egotistical and really bad. I like hated the like normie people around me.
Yeah.
Like I hated it. Like it made me hate school. I hated my teachers. I hated it. So like I had to. Like to clear up my mind, I had to.
I always had a really tough time doing things that I felt were purposeless.
Yeah.
So like that school was one of them. I was like, I was never learning anything that I thought was interesting in school. And I think that kind of also made me dislike learning as well. I think that fucks a lot of people up, bro.
It does,
because
100%.
Then you have this like negative relationship with just accumulating more information, which I think has served both of us because we kind of reversed it once we got out of that.
Yeah.
But it can fuck you up.
Yeah, it's crazy because right after I dropped out of high school, that's when I got obsessed with knowledge and learning things on my own. And I loved it. I was like, I can read books now. I can listen to audiobooks. I couldn't do this in school. But like once I got out of school, that's like what really changed my mindset. Yeah. Which I feel like, realistically, I don't know what you think. I think like getting rich is kind of 90% in the mind. Yeah. Like right whenever my mind got completely clear, like I had no negative. I haven't had like a negative thought in like a year and a half. Yeah. And it's weird that like the more your mind gets clear, the richer you get. And the easier it feels. Yeah. We were talking about that the other night where like at first, even when you're just getting into like, I'm trying to make money on my own, it kind of sounds like this complex world that you don't even really understand, but you feel that, okay, if it's working for other people, it can work for me. Yeah. And then getting over that initial hump to where like you actually believe that it's possible, like that's the hardest part. This is a great question. When do you think that it clicked in your head? That it really clicked once I started getting some real world data. So it was just like this kind of concept in my head, and I knew it could be possible because I saw other people doing it, and I started to kind of meet them and realize, oh, this is just a normal person. Yeah. But it wasn't until like I started actually sending outbound messages and getting on sales calls, and I got my first client. Like once I got into the game, I was like, oh shit, like this is actually, it's quite simple. This is how business works. You just provide value to somebody in exchange for money. So when you first got into online business, did you think that you were going to be where you're at now? Or like, where did you, because me going into everything, like it's like from the age of 14 years old, like I knew exactly where I'd be at now. For whatever reason, I don't know how I got the mindset. Yeah. I just did. And I wasn't doing anything. Like I started selling audiobooks on Amazon when I was 14 years old. Obviously I made $0. But like I still just knew from the age of 14. So I don't know what sparked it in my head, like I'm going to get rich as a 14-year-old. Yeah. Because my parents were never like that. They would shut it down instantly. So like that's one thing that I'm curious about is like where did the idea come from in our head? I would picture myself living this life, but I couldn't really conceptualize like the level that I'm at now. Yeah. My dream was like I just want to make 5 to 10K a month. Like that was small enough to where I was like, okay, that's feasible. That can happen. And then longer term, I would think like, okay, I want to be the person who's talking to people on YouTube and inspiring other people and like living this life. But I didn't exactly know how I was going to get there. But I knew that I could at least get to like 5 to 10 grand a month. And obviously once you're there, it's like, okay,
You just want more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But where did it come from? I think for me, because I was like so into basketball, like I was telling you the other night, I just accepted or like fully convinced myself that the normal path wasn't for me. And for a while, I thought that outlet was going to be basketball, and I thought I'm going to go to the league and do my own thing that way. Obviously, that didn't happen. But once I was sold on that, there was no going back. Because like once you build up, the best I've ever felt in my life is when I'm like fully in tune with a mission. When I wake up every day.
So purposeful. Like you feel, that's why I think like it's our soul. Like I guess it came from our soul, but then I want to know the difference between me and the regular person that doesn't have that. Like, are they just not like intact with their soul, or like what is it?
That's a good question.
Because I feel like that's where our purpose comes from. Because why did I get the idea? Like it has to be some greater good. If people believe it's God or the universe, it has to be something.
Right.
That gave it to me.
I imagine everybody is kind of born with it.
Yeah.
And then you learn to either listen to it or shut it out.
I agree. Yeah.
Like that's what.
Yeah, I believe the material world, especially like the school system too, like I think kind of traps you in.
Right.
So.
And that's what does it. So like you start kind of negotiating on what you actually want out of life. When you're, when any young ass kid has probably like crazy aspirations. So I want to go to the moon, be a firefighter, get really rich. Like, you know how it is when you're a young little jit. And then you grow up and people tell you, no, the world is this way. Like go to school, go to college, get a 9-to-5 and like live comfortably so that you can afford to retire at 60.
You know what trips me out too is it's like your own parents that kind of like have you stuck as well. At least I don't know about yours, but mine.
Yeah.
Like I know a ton of people that I've met that even like came inside of people's programs and stuff like that, that their parents were the ones that like held them back too. So like, did you have to go against your parents' will?
A little bit. My parents were definitely supportive, but they wanted what's best for me. And obviously it's not real until it's real. So like they had some doubts, but I think they were definitely more accepting than most parents. But still, it was like a battle that I had to kind of overcome. And I think everybody does. Like, I think it's very rare where somebody is born in a position where their parents are like pushing them towards entrepreneurship or pushing them towards even just lifelong learning.
Yeah, no. But I think it's necessary though to win though.
You have to win that battle.
Yeah, but I feel like it's like 100% necessary because if you can go away, like let's say someone's parents does not believe in them and they go away from that, like you're like resenting your parents. Like for me, I isolated myself away from my mother when I was 16 to 17. I would barely talk to her.
Yeah.
And like some people say, oh, I'm selfish. I have an ego for doing it, but I'm able to provide for her. I can do whatever I want for her. So I feel like it's like kind of necessary. Like you have to go against your parents. And if you can do that, you can do anything because that is a fucked up thing to do.
Yeah.
Realistically.
You got to grow your own wings. Yeah. And like the first kind of signal to yourself that this is your life and you're going to make your own decisions is no longer kind of perceiving your parents as God. Yeah. They're not these all-knowing creatures that you imagine them to be when you were growing up. And obviously, like they can be great. They can have amazing intentions for you, but they don't know your path. Yeah. Nobody does, but you can feel it internally. And I think once you take full control of your life and accept that personal responsibility, that's like your kind of coming of age moment where your life is now on your shoulders.
It feels good too. Like the fact that I went away from like the common ideas, what everyone thinks that you should do, like it feels better. Like it feels like something inside of you. It's like I hate to say this, but people like when they ask me, oh, like a base model question, how can I become successful? Do you feel like we have a dark force like driving us to get what we want? Like it's good. It's like both. There's like the dark force and the good force. The good force is we want to inspire people. We want to help others make money, right? We want to just help people in general. And then the dark force would be like something in the back of your head that wants to win for like either a selfish reason or wants to win for like, for me, posting on social media, like what we were talking about way in the beginning of this podcast was I wanted people to see my face. I wanted, this sounds fucked up, I wanted power over people, influence. Like I just wanted everyone in the world to see me. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it can come from like insecurities growing up and wanting to feel like you're better than other people or like kind of feeling that and wanting to prove it.
Yeah. Do you think that's a bad thing though?
No, because I don't think so as long as like eventually it kind of comes full circle, obviously if you get rich and you just remain a complete asshole, like, but that's rare too.
Yeah, that is
like
rare.
Most people kind of find themselves along that journey, and because you feel better when you're in alignment with your soul, then you're going to become a better person because of it.
And people think the opposite. Like I literally said I got rich and became a better person. Yeah. But the common person is like, oh, you're rich, you're a dick, you're an asshole, you're this.
Right.
Especially Christians. Yeah. Like they believe having money is bad. Like what's your thoughts on that? Were you told as a kid, like, oh, if you get rich, that's a bad thing, having money is bad?
No.
Because that's what I was told. It's like, worry about other things, not money. But money runs the world. So why would I not want money?
Right. Yeah, I never was like fully indoctrinated into that belief, but it was just rare to be doing your own thing. It was rare to like be money hungry as well and to chase that, because that's not what most people do. It's not how you fit into society the way that you're supposed to.
Yeah.
What do you think was like, in the beginning, what was the biggest thing that motivated you? I know you touched on like the dark forces, but like what were those?
I'll go deeper into that. So my dad dying when I was 15, I'll go really deep. I like fought with my dad a lot. He was a very violent, angry guy. And this is kind of like my whole like come up story, because I already wanted to do online business. I remember me and my mom actually 2 weeks ago, we went through me and my dad's old texts. And it was basically like, I wanted to get a job when I was 15. My dad's like, you're not even 16 yet. You can't legally work. Like, why do you want to make money? And I said, I want to make money to do something that I actually want to do. He got pissed. So my dad died when I was 15. This is going to sound crazy. We got in a fist fight the night. And then I forgot what it was, but my mom like walked in on us fighting, and I kept like hitting him. And obviously my dad's not going to hit me in front of my mom. And the last thing I told, for whatever reason, like I loved my dad. I looked at him and I said, you could drop dead right now and die and I would not care. A week later, that's the last thing I said to him. We have never gone a day without smoking. We went 7 days without smoking, and I lived in Texas at the time. He was in Louisiana. I'm at a high school party. I did call from my mom, your dad has no pulse. Died.
Wow.
So that was always a thing in my head, but it wasn't a sad thing. This is what I want to talk about too. I didn't feel relieved, but I knew in the back of my head, this is going to be the best. For whatever reason, I'm a 15-year-old. I don't know why I thought this is going to be the best thing that ever happened to me, but it turned out being the best thing that ever happened to me. And when I was sitting in, because they like sparked him back up to life, we went to Louisiana, but he was like brain dead. So like they took the thing off, and like you could see their like heart rate go down.
Yeah.
And all my family's just like holding hands, crying, and I'm just sitting back, and I'm just like, I have to become the man now. I have to provide for my mom. I have to help her. And that's what drove me every single day, because I was a really lazy person.
Yeah.
So like, I didn't have discipline when I was 15 at all. The only thing that I had is a dark force driving me, and that's like, I'm going to get what I want now. And this is going to push me every single day to do it.
That's wild, bro.
Yeah.
I can imagine how it was almost freeing, where like you no longer have this, like when you're growing up, your dad is like your kind of model for God, right? And then when you no longer have that, it's like I'm my own person. And
but
for you, it was at the age of 15.
Yeah, I loved that feeling though.
And it's a very mature kind of understanding that you had even at that age, where you're like, okay, like now you have a blank slate.
Yeah.
No one to kind of model after. You could fully express whatever you wanted to internally.
Yeah, I used to tell my mom that. Like, we would get in arguments when I was like 18. I was making a decent amount of money. And I'd be like, I've never liked anyone telling me what to do. And this sounds messed up. Like, oh, I don't want to listen to my mom. But realistically, like, my mom never really, she's a woman, so I don't expect her to do much with her life at all, right? But when we would get in fights, and I would be like, Mom, everything that I've done for the last 3 years of my life is on me. Like, you did not teach me to do these things.
Yeah.
I've gotten this far already. Just let me do my own thing and just let me chill, and then it's fine. But people respond to trauma in different ways. Like, most people, if their parents die, like, they get on drugs, they're messed up for life.
Yeah.
So I don't know why at 15 there was something speaking to me, like I guess my soul or whatever it is, if I want to call it God.
Yeah.
But I still wasn't really fully like, I always believed in a God, but I didn't care at all still. Even when that happened, I still didn't care. But something was still on my side telling me like, Hudson, you're going to be good. This is going to be the best thing that ever happens to you.
You found kind of a positive outlet for it.
Yeah. But like, I don't know how, because I'm so young.
Yeah. That is wild.
Yeah. Because most people, like if their family dies, they're going to get all messed up in the head.
Yeah.
But
I imagine like, on my side, when I got into this whole make money world and I started kind of following that ambition, it was largely just in pursuit of selfish things. Like I wanted to be able to live whatever life I wanted. I wanted to be able to travel and have cool cars and have pretty girls, like just totally kind of materialistic, superficial lifestyle gain.
And some people would say that that's like a dark thing that you wanted. Because like at first you don't do it to help people. You want to live a sick lifestyle. You want to make a lot of money. And then eventually, obviously, like there's intentions behind it now.
Right.
Like now we do more to obviously help and inspire. But at first, I think that's what it always is. But I think people try to shut that part of themselves out.
Right.
Like the dark thing inside of them that tells them like, oh, you want to be better than other people? Like, I want to look at someone that's more successful than me and be like, I have to win over him. Like, I want everyone to see me.
It's okay to be selfish. Like, that's one thing that we both understood early, and that anybody who finds success ends up understanding is you have to put yourself first, at least in the beginning, because that's the only way you end up in a position where you can become the person who's even capable of helping others. Like, the most you can do for the world is become the fullest version of yourself and express those, whatever, if that's God that put that inside of you, but you're expressing that. And I think that's how you become like the closest thing to the best version of you. Because why do you have these desires? Why do you decide that, okay, I don't want to suppress my inclination to follow this path? And once you're on that journey, then like there's no going back. Because I think once you get a taste of it too, you understand how miserable life would be if you were to shut it out. Like, you know, when you walk around, you just see people who look lifeless. You're like there's just nothing behind there. You see them on their lunch break, you know, getting Chipotle, and they're sweating on their way back to work. And you're just like, there's nothing there.
Nothing.
And I knew how miserable I would be without a clear purpose. And for me, again, I think it was largely because of basketball. And I guess you found it very early on as well.
Yeah, really early. Like, even before all that stuff happened. I was gonna ask you something. It was, you were saying something about like where these desires and stuff come from. So you think every single person born on earth has desires already, right? Like, everyone wants to live a good life. It's like, what do you think is the one thing? Because obviously it's like it's a multitude of things. But what do you think is the one thing that separates them from us? Like, the average person from us. Like, what did we do differently? I mean, obviously we were selfish. And I feel like a lot of people think that's a bad thing, to be selfish. But what else? Like, what did they do wrong? Because when I see some people, like you were talking about on their lunch break, like, it generally, the richer I got and the more successful I get, I genuinely get sad when I look, like, I'll go walk outside and like I'll see like life, like go to a Walmart and just see soulless. And I get sad because I'm like, we have endless human potential. Like, we have the ability to create because of our soul. Like, we can create whatever reality we want to. And they chose not to, just to listen to the system and just go on about their lives, not even thinking about it. I think we became conscious.
I think that as well, but partially like your tolerance for unalignment. Meaning, I knew I was going to be absolutely miserable if I didn't do this. I think you felt the same way. Some people, they're not that upset with like, oh yeah, whatever. I won't be the guy that I always wanted to be. And I think some people just accept that for better or worse.
Okay with that. And that's where the ego comes in.
Right.
Like, if you have a high enough ego of yourself, you're not going to let that happen. I was not going to be the one that would let myself fail because of my ego. And people say ego is a bad thing, but it's literally just our subconscious and conscious figuring out our identity. And I feel like people lack identity. I knew exactly who I wanted to be. I saw it, and I knew it was going to happen, and then it did. And I feel like that's what people lack a lot.
Do you think you kind of create your identity?
Absolutely, yeah. I think so. Well, I think you're spawned on Earth with an identity, whatever you want, matrix system, material world, whatever you want to call it, and you're programmed, obviously, by everything.
You start to bury it.
And then certain things happen. Like, for me, it was my dad passing away. That was like the first identity shift. And then when I was like 18 and a half, there was another one. Like, after me and my ex-girlfriend broke up, then it was another one. Then I got obsessed with power, knowledge. So it was like, it all comes in waves. But I 100% believe that we create our own identity. I think we're slapped on an identity, and we have to break like from that, from the material world.
And you had two kind of clear, not even rock bottoms, but like kind of crossroads where two big life events happened for you. At 15 when your dad died, and then at 18 when you and this girl go through the breakup. Like, that spawned you into action. And I went through something very similar where just like my whole kind of perception of my world collapsed. And then I think that moment, you like either decide, okay, I'm starting with a blank slate here. Do I want to go in the direction that I've always been called to go in, or do I just kind of suppress it and go back down the path that I've been on? And if you make the right decision in those kind of inflection points, then you end up where you always wanted to be.
I think the darkness, like being rock bottom, I see a lot of people's like advice online. They're like, oh, rock bottom's good because you can only go up from rock bottom, which I believe that's true, but it's because you can simply not see success unless you've seen failure. Like, you cannot see here if you have not been here. Like, it's not even possible. You can't even register in your head. So like, me like being rock bottom at like 2 points in my life, like completely where I'm just like, you can like feel the darkness inside of you. Like that's kind of what drove me to be like, okay, now I'm going to live a life full of bliss. And I knew that it was a good thing. But I don't know what gave me the mentality of like, this is going to be good. Like I've always seen, since I was a young kid, I've seen negative things. I've always turned them positive in my head. Like I always knew it was going to be for positive.
Did you doubt yourself much?
Never. I dropped out of high school. I'm like was the most confident person in the world. Like since like 6th grade, everyone was like, oh, Hudson has too big of an ego. Always.
Yeah.
I was always confident.
I was always told that as well.
Yeah.
Because like I was walking through the halls thinking I was going to go to the fucking NBA. So I was the same way where like I was kind of a cocky asshole at some points growing up. And now like I'm mature enough to understand that. I don't think I'm as pretentious as I used to be.
Yeah.
But I do think it served me. And most
100%.
people are taught to suppress it and they listen.
Yeah, no, 100%. Even like teachers and stuff, they'll tell you that. But at the end of the day, you break free from the system. And then I don't like to call it system and matrix because it sounds like corny. But it's true.
Yeah.
Like we're placed on this world and everything is programming us to go down a life of just like a normie.
Yeah.
So like I just don't know when like the breakthrough was in my head where I was like, I wish I could know like the one spawn point where like I saw someone and I was like, I can't live like him. I think I just wanted like a good life.
Yeah.
And then that's where it starts. And then slowly things happen to you. I feel like once you have the idea of yourself like being successful and like you can like actually believe that it's gonna happen, then you get like tested or whatever you want to call it, and then you go through the dark times. Because like you saw what it looks like. So now, okay, some people think it's a test from God. Some people, I think it's just necessary. I think it kind of happened. Because all of our stories are always the same.
Right.
Like everyone who is in our little space or even just more successful in general, they always went through the same story.
Yep. And I'll see people like on random little interviews and they'll say something that like I know I've said before or like a variation of that exact same advice. And you're right. It's always like just very similar kind of ups and downs, trying to believe it's possible. And then once you kind of get through the hump, then it's just a matter of continuing to do what you're supposed to do.
Because I think like humans, we all go through the same things. Like we're on a collective unconscious.
Yeah.
So like everything is happening at once and like we all share the same ideas. Like I actually like the thought of this. This is like a really cool thing. We talked about this at dinner. Like you're thinking of someone and they call you. Or like you and your friends say something at the same time. And like we're sharing like the same thoughts and ideas.
Yep.
So I think it happens to everyone. And I feel like that's the test. Like, are you worthy of this life or not?
Yeah.
I think anyone can get it. Like generally, what do you think about that? Do you think everyone can become successful?
Probably at some point, but I think some people are too far gone. Like there's too much to unwire and reprogram that it's just not going to happen. Like they've conditioned themselves so many times to opt for comfort over a short period of discomfort and, you know, feeling like an idiot, falling on your face, and then you figure it out. And once you just like, once you go down that belief for too long, it's just too much.
You're stuck, yeah. Well, that's when I think like the darkness and like the bad times like have to happen, because then you don't give a fuck anymore. Like when your life is like miserable and you're rock bottom, I feel like that might be the one thing that actually makes people click.
Yeah.
Like it kind of makes them be like, I have to do something now. And if they don't, then they're fucked for life.
Right.
Like that's like the final straw. And if they don't get past that, they're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had my little versions of rock bottom. But like I grew up in a very good home, never had to worry about having food on the table or anything like that. College was paid for. Like I knew I could have lived a very comfortable life if I just kind of followed the script, but I didn't want to.
Yeah.
And looking at all of the other people I grew up with, like they're all going to live fine, nice lives, but almost none of them had that same kind of drive as me. And I think it's largely because like that, you could almost make the argument that for an entrepreneur growing up the way I did is a negative.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that 5 seconds ago. It's rare for someone to be like such a comfortable, because you said you had a comfortable life, nothing was bad, to get to where you're at now. Like I don't see many of those cases. Because do you think like, let's say, what age did you like want to get rich? Like what age was it?
It had to, I'd say early teens, and then I tried to suppress it for a bit, and then I like reignited that. Yeah. Probably close to when I was 20.
Like early teens. Do you think like Ben, who had like the most comfortable life, or Ben who was like rock bottom, let's say you were poor, let's say like everything in your life was negative, which one do you think like would go further or would have gone further? Because you went, like you're far now. Like, do you think it would have been better? Because most people who are comfortable, that's what holds people back.
Yeah.
Like, they're so comfortable, like you cannot be comfortable in order to make it. That's why I dropped out and like, I kind of like threw everything.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have to make this work. Now I force myself to. You didn't have to force yourself to, but you still did it.
Right.
Which is rare.
I think I was objective enough to understand that I am blessed to have a safety net. And that's the exact reason why I should just go after everything that I wanted.
Okay. And what do you think about, I don't believe luck is a real thing at all. Like at all. I believe you position yourself to get lucky, if that's what you want to call it.
Yeah.
Favored by God. But what do you think luck is? Do you think that's a thing? Like, do you think that contributes any bit to like people like us, like our success?
I think 90% of it is you creating your own luck. I will say I have had times in my life where I felt like I was kind of thrown a life raft. Like when I was telling you the story the other night at dinner, when I was in college, freshman year, joined a fraternity, start to try and live like that normal frat bro lifestyle. And then right before COVID happened, girlfriend and I at the time broke up. And then COVID kind of puts the whole world on pause. And I think just the timing of that was too perfect.
Everything's perfect.
For like, I got lucky, but then I did something with it. Like the same story with Philip. Like Philip is a great example. Venmo'd me $1. I sent him a rack back. Now he's here. But he kind of saw that life raft and grabbed onto it and then turned that into a lucky event. So I guess it's kind of luck, but it's more user, it's more of like a skill thing. Can you determine when you get those points of leverage and actually grab onto them?
Do you think it's a conscious thing? Like we became conscious about certain things, and like the average Joe, when we go see them and they're lifeless, like why aren't they conscious? Because sometimes, like, even if I have conversations with people like that, it's like they can only talk about 3 things: their life that is miserable, their work that is miserable, and then their family that maybe might be miserable. I hate to say that,
or
but
sports.
I hate to say that, but it's like they're not like real people. This sounds really messed up. They're like not real people.
Yeah.
This is gonna sound like people watching this are gonna be like, "Holy fuck, Hudson's a dickhead." They're not real people to me.
I think unconsciousness is very comfortable.
Yeah.
And it's seductive.
Yeah.
Like you can almost reason with yourself to the point where you just talk yourself out of any decision that you could have made that would have put you in the driver's seat of your life. And it's not that difficult to do it, but it's kind of easy to end up in a point where you look around and you're like, holy shit, my life isn't even mine. Like I've just been following everybody else's decisions for the entirety of my life.
Yeah. And those people like really are really jealous of people like us that are actually successful. Like it's sad.
Bro, I'd be bitter as fuck.
I know.
If I didn't follow this path, I'd be miserable.
That means they still have some sort of like burning desire to have a good life. Like it's deep inside of them somewhere. If they're getting jealous, if they like look at us and they think negative, then there's something. That's a good thing. They should feel negative. Yeah. They should feel bad. Maybe it'll help them do something. But that means like the burning desire is still there inside of like every single person, which I think is our soul. But like the further they just go away from it. That's why I don't think the purpose of life is to like just be a good person and open doors for people. And then you're going to make it to the afterlife because you were a good person. I believe like we respond with a burning desire. We follow it and we fulfill it as much as we possibly can. Obviously, be a good person. Don't be a dickhead. Well, I don't think you can be a dickhead while fulfilling your purpose at all. Because if I was a dickhead, no one would watch me. No one would watch you, right? But I think it's like the burning desire that we have, and if we fulfill it, then whatever we think after we die, that's what happens. Like that's what we were put to do. Because the people that are going away from their purpose, that aren't fulfilling it, those are the soulless ones. Those are the negative ones. Those are the ones that live terrible lives. Which I don't think someone can live like a terrible life like that. Like a really true like poor person that's miserable can like live a terrible life and then still think somehow like I'm gonna be a good person and like God's gonna bless me. Yeah, I don't think those type of people that live like a really terrible life that are miserable inside, because if your internal reflects the external, like everything internal, that's your outer world. So like those people are miserable internal. So why would they get blessed by God? Why would they get any good things at all in their life? I don't think they would. I don't think they think like, oh, I'm gonna get into, let's take it from a like religious perspective. I'm gonna get into heaven because I lived a miserable life and I hated my life inside and I knew I had more potential and I didn't get it, but I'm still gonna go to heaven because I opened the door for someone and said, have a good day, and I didn't curse. Doesn't make sense. That's why like, as a kid, like I was always so like away from like hyper religious people. It's fine, like being religious. I'm Christian myself, but like I'm not a hyper religious person because I have such like an open mind on everything.
I feel you. That's always turned me off as well. And I think it's great to have a relationship with God and whatever religion you subscribe to. That's fantastic.
I like that word, subscribe to.
Yeah. But I also think at some point it can be a cope, as can anything.
Yeah.
Like online business, making money can be a cope for other areas of your life that you don't want to pay attention to. But I do see the same thing where, and I've always been turned off by really religious people.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, dude. Like,
I'll tell you why. It's like they are miserable, like I was talking about, but then they still think because they're a better person than you, that they're going to get into heaven. I think they use God as a cop-out.
Yeah.
I think that they think that they have okay, so we have this much potential. We're put on this earth. Everyone has the same amount of potential. Like our human potential is endless.
Yeah.
Like literally. So if they're not reaching their fullest potential and they're like empty inside, but then they think they're going to be like a good person, they're going to get into heaven, like they think they're not better than you, but it's kind of like, my mom's really religious and that's like how she used to look. I kind of changed her like mind on things a little bit. Like she thought like having money was bad.
Yeah.
And like think like, but then they believe like, oh, you should just be like a good person. Like I don't believe that's what we were put on earth to do.
Right. Like that becomes the entire outlet, is this whole following, like very strictly following the religion, but there's no other reference points. There's no other real world experience. There's no other mission alongside that. And like, it's kind of a tricky one.
It kind of takes you away from your soul in
Right.
a way, because our soul is like the creative part of us, right? Like we want to get more intact with God or whatever you want to call it. But like, that's how we find our purpose and we find our potential. And I feel like sometimes, I'm not saying every single religious person, but sometimes like hyper religious people that like live bad lives, like they're never going to find like their true soul because they're kind of like stuck and told what to do and like they're programmed in. I think when I was a kid, like, and I tried to be religious, like I really tried to be.
Yeah.
I would try to cope by saying like, oh, it's not like programming, but like, I don't think like Christianity or the Bible is programming. I think it's the way people interpret it and the way people take it. I read parts of the Bible and it's like the Spirit of God dwells inside of us. The kingdom of heaven is within. The kingdom of heaven, which is perfect, is inside of me. That means I can get a blissful life. That means I can get a good life and I have the ability to create if God gave me a soul, right? Like God created us, we create our own reality. Yep. So I took it from a different point. Like the Bible helped me become successful, but 99% of people, like it took them away from their soul actually, because then they're bought it in. They don't feel like they have a purpose. They think they should just open doors for people and smile and not curse. And then they're going to go to the afterlife. But
right. And then that becomes the whole mission. And it's weird. And like in a way I can understand it. They think they're doing the right thing and they fully kind of let themselves believe that. But I also imagine there's like an inkling of doubt in there. As there is for, I'm sure, anybody who is kind of on a path that's not in alignment with their soul. I could always feel it. I don't know if you went through same points in your life where you were trying to sell yourself on the idea of being normal. And I was fairly good at like reasoning with myself when I was in college and I joined the fraternity and everything's fun and whatever. I'm like, okay, this wouldn't be that bad. But I still knew. There was just that sliver of hope inside of me that was like, Ben, you're going to figure something else out.
No, I never was at a point where I tried to make myself comfortable ever. It's like, take it back to when I said 6th grade and everyone was like, oh, Hudson has an ego. It's like I kind of always wanted like more than others and I always wanted to be better in everything, to be honest. Like not even just money. Because I don't believe like money makes us better people. Money's a great thing, obviously. But I think it's a ton of things together. And I feel like that's what a lot of people watching this, that like if they're not successful and they don't have money, they look at people like us and they're like, all they have is money. Yeah. Like what we went through to get money.
That's the reward.
Yeah. Like
how has money changed you?
Money has only like really changed me in like I wouldn't say money changed me, but who I became in order to make money and like the thoughts that I had to put down, like reprogram myself, that changed me. But money itself didn't change me besides like now I live like the best life I could have ever. So like it made me like just a happier person, obviously, because money's cool. I'm not going to say money doesn't make you happy.
Right.
Like, but what makes me happier is knowing that I had the darkest things happen to me in my life and I still chose to go through them, learn from them, and then become the person I am now.
Yep.
So it changed me into like me being like, I can do anything now. Like I feel like I'm on top of the world, not because of the money that I have, but like.
You proved to yourself that you could take an idea and make it into a reality.
And create it, yeah. Literally. Like you once have, it's all in your head, it's mental, and then you put it physical, like now it actually exists.
Right.
That's the coolest feeling ever.
Right. I went through the same thing, dude. Where like, I think now me with money, I'm calmer, I'm more confident, I have more just conviction in who I am. And
you have an identity. You know exactly who you are, and like nothing can take you away from it.
Right. And it's made me a better person.
100%. Yeah.
Like I probably, when I first started to make some money, like around the 10K a month mark, I thought I was on top of the fucking world. But now also, I realize how small I still am. Like the best way to understand that you need more money is to start making money.
Yeah.
Right? Like once you, I think for me, that was probably around the 50 to 100K per month range where I started to realize like, holy shit, I'm making good money now, but like there's levels.
Yeah.
And I am very far behind based on what I want. Like by the time I'm 40,
how much money do
50,
you want? I was just about to ask you.
I was thinking about this the other day. Some people, I'll hear them say, oh, I want to be a billionaire. I think I have no desire to be a billionaire.
Neither do I. I could explain why. I could go so deep on that. Like to be a billionaire, you have to like sell out in a sort of a way.
Yeah.
Like actually.
Yeah. I think I would be able to live a very good life and fulfill everything that I wanted to do and like remain curious and have little side quests and not, for the entirety of my life, I don't want money to be the main goal. It is right now, and I think that's a great outlet for me, but that'll change probably throughout my 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond. So I think 100 M's plus would be enough.
I think so too.
I used to say 20.
Really?
Like,
20? See, to me, 20 is like not that much. It's like I want to just be able to just chill out on a yacht wherever I want to in Europe, just soaking up the sun. And that takes a lot of money, obviously.
Yeah.
And take private jets everywhere. Like I don't want to fly. Like first class is cool, but no, I want to take like.
I feel you.
I don't know when's the year. I think I told myself I was like 2026 or 2027. I only want to fly private.
Yeah, it's expensive, bro.
I know. It is.
You need a lot of bread for that.
Yeah, I know you do. But to buy one too, that's like what 30 M's?
Yeah, I mean, and then just like the upkeep as well. The same with a yacht.
Yeah,
like you're gonna spend just as much money on maintenance as you do on the actual thing.
Yeah, no, that's fucked.
But yeah, as I've made more money, I've realized that I need so much more.
A lot more.
Do you have kind of, how clear of a vision would you say you have to getting to multiple 8 figures or 9 figures eventually?
So here's the thing, is like, for me, I always had a clear vision to get to where I'm at now. And I'm like a person who always like struggled looking into long term.
Me too.
Since I was 13, I told myself I was gonna die at 19. This sounds crazy. I told my mom that, I told my friends that. I never saw myself like living past a certain age. Now I'm 20 and I make more money than I imagine myself making this much money, but I'm not someone that I can't think of myself when I'm 25. I physically can't. I'm just flowing with life and like everything. I know everything is gonna be perfect. And I know obviously like I'm gonna hit wherever I wanna be. Like I'm gonna hit that income goal. But I can't imagine myself like when I'm 40 with a family and kids. Can you like picture that in your head?
Not really, bro.
Neither can I. And I think the people that like can picture that, they kind of have no like drive or desire. Like the reason we can't is because we're worried about other things.
It's just also so unpredictable. Like my route has changed so many times.
Yeah, that too.
That I have no idea what stage of life I'm going to be in 4 years, even when I'm 28. Yeah. Like I don't know what that'll look like.
Yeah, neither do I.
And I think that can be a good thing and a bad thing. Like I'm very comfortable in knowing that the business that I have right now, all of them are cash flow businesses. Like none of them are going to make me rich, but as long as I kind of stay on this path and I continue to maximize the opportunity in front of me, that will eventually put me in a position where I have that next 8-figure, potentially 9-figure play.
Yeah.
But I also have a very hard time like thinking that far ahead, because there was a time where I thought I was going to be a world famous videographer. Then there was a time where I thought I was going to be the next e-com guru. Yeah. Then I thought I was going to build a different type of marketing agency. So like through those lessons and through those reroutes, I've learned that I can't really predict with full accuracy where I'm going to be in 5, 10, 20 years plus. I do think it is important to have a general direction and like kind of milestones that you want to hit.
The one thing I can truly see is like social media wise and like fame wise, like right now that's kind of like the thing that I'm obsessed with.
Yeah.
And obviously that brings in money and stuff like that. But that's like the one thing that like drives me more than the money, even though it brings money. But it's like the fame level. And I don't want to just be famous for people to like to see me and stuff. Like obviously I want to inspire, I want to help people.
Yeah.
But there's more to it. I feel like who doesn't want their face to be shown to the world?
Both of our most valuable assets right now are our personal brands.
100%.
Like that, to me, I'm not building a real business that has equity that's like a sellable asset right now.
The only reason,
but the
like,
closest thing is the personal brand.
Yeah. The only reason, it is a real business though. The only reason like we're programmed to think it's not is because like people look at us and they're like, oh, this is what they do. That's not a real business. So we've been told that for like the last like 2 years. But it is a business.
It is. But I understand
it's not like
when people make the argument of like, it's not a sellable asset. That's true.
That's true, yeah.
But a personal brand is also something that like is just a cash cow. Like maybe eventually you start some sort of software based on your personal brand, or you start a clothing brand or something else.
We can do so much.
Right?
Yeah.
It just opens too many doors. And I think if you have shit to talk about and you don't do it, you're fucking ignorant.
Facts. That's true. So what made you, when did you even start posting on social media?
So I started on Twitter. That was the first platform I like actually actively posted on.
Yeah.
And I started there probably 4 or 5 years ago. Obviously I didn't have much to talk about, but I would just like document my journey and share insights. And I was relatively consistent on there for like the first 2-3 years that I was in the online business world. And then I started posting on TikTok after that, probably around the time that I moved to Miami. So roughly 2.5, 3 years ago. That's probably when you first saw me.
Yeah.
And I went through a phase. I really liked TikTok at the time. Like do you feel like sometimes you're in different modes of content where shit just flows easier? Like I was in a very good kind of frame when I first got on TikTok where I was just able to be really authentic and freely speak my mind.
Yeah.
But then from there I had Twitter and TikTok. And I also will say writing consistently and writing on Twitter helped me kind of hash out all of the ideas that ended up becoming TikTok content and later on YouTube content. So YouTube was number 3. I started consistently there a little over a year ago. It really wasn't that long, but YouTube 100% has made the most impact on my business and my income.
YouTube is what I love the best. Like that's the stuff that I'm actually passionate about. Like us talking right now, this is the stuff that I love.
Yeah.
TikTok's cool. It takes me 30 seconds to make a TikTok. Like it feels like there's nothing like, oh, I'm gonna post a TikTok, go viral. And I'm gonna like help people, but realistically, people are gonna favorite the video. It might help a couple people.
Right.
People are going to favorite the video, be like, I'm going to go back and look at this. They're never going to go back.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm only doing it for clout, I guess. But
really
like,
the best thing that it does, though, is it can get people to watch your long form shit.
That's the only reason I do it.
It just makes you more
I post on TikTok.
Yeah.
What made you start posting then? Like, what was it for you? Did you want to be
I
like
always wanted to, but I think at first, like when I was in high school, I tried to start vlogging.
Really?
In college, I picked back up a camera. I was doing freelance videography. I just really was drawn to content creation. But I think a deeper part of me knew that I hadn't gone through enough life yet to make that my main thing.
Yeah.
So I remember at first, like I wanted to make money largely because I wanted to be one of the people that I was watching on YouTube. And I told myself once I hit 10K a month, I'd start making content.
That's what everyone says. Everyone's like, 10K, I'll start posting.
Right?
And I didn't post till way after.
Yeah. It's the same thing happened. I kind of made that promise to myself. And then once I got there financially, I didn't do it. And then later on, I was like, wait, you wanted to make money to live a certain lifestyle. And now that you're making even more money than you wanted to, at that point, you're still not doing the other things that were kind of in this contract.
Yeah.
So it felt like a almost moral obligation.
Like you just had to.
Right? And I think
that's what it was for me because I'll be brutally honest, like 99% of the people, there's a couple of us that post actual like valuable things That's what it was for me. Obviously, I wanted to be seen. I wanted to help people. I wanted to inspire people. But me wanting to help people was like, okay, half of these people are giving absolute zero value and they have followers.
Yeah.
That's what drove me to like go crazy. I was like, okay, I'm passing everyone.
Yeah. And it does feel good knowing that like you're not going to save them all, but one piece of your content can completely change the trajectory of somebody's life.
Someone watching this could actually become a millionaire, even a couple people, which is crazy to think about that we have that much influence.
Totally.
At this age, it's crazy.
Like I still remember. I know you're too young for Ty Lopez, which is crazy.
I know.
But I remember seeing Ty Lopez videos, and I remember even Gary V. Like when
Gary V.
Bro, I know,
wow.
total meme at this point. But I do vividly remember watching this Gary V video. I think he was wearing like this white shirt. He's in like a fucking parking lot in New York, and he made this video where he was talking about. He's really afraid right now because this is the time of year that like everybody graduates and then people opt for the comfortable job. And this was like 5-6 years ago at that point. But I remember watching that video and it clicked. I was like, you're right. Like I can see myself.
You remembering the video is crazy.
Right?
Yeah.
Gary Vee was running Instagram and YouTube at the time.
Yeah, way back.
But like that had a very big impact on where I am now, and like if I can do that for somebody else, I'd be a selfish piece of shit not to.
It's hard to process it too. Like, oh, people come up to you, oh, you changed my life. Even like reading comments.
Yeah,
it's like really weird to process, but it's like that's the best thing in the world.
It is.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about like the Miami skits that I was making for a while. Those were fun. That got me tens of millions of views over a couple months.
Yeah.
And the notoriety was great. Being recognized every time I walked outside was very cool, but it did not hit nearly as hard when somebody was like, oh, you're funny versus, oh, your videos like genuinely impacted me.
Yeah.
So
getting recognized though every day would be fire. That's cool.
Yeah. I mean,
you don't miss that like a little bit? How long was the run? It was like
probably 4 months. No, it was cool. And like, you know, maybe at some point I'd kind of revisit that, but also like it'd feel a lot better. Let's say you walk outside and everybody's seen your business content and like you've inspired that amount of people to the point where you're getting recognized 3-4 times a day plus, like that would feel better.
Yeah. Did you not want to be like seen like as that? Like what did you even, okay, actually 2 questions. Going into making content, what did you want your image to be? And then outside of content, like, no, not outside of content, just going into it and then now. Like, what do you want your image to be? Like, you people, Ben Bader, like, they look at you, what do you want, like, their first thought to be about you? Because is that what, like, kind of, like, stopped you? Because you want to, like, because you knew you were more than just, like, some guy making skits.
Yeah.
Even though they're hilarious.
The first word that comes to mind there is real. Like, I just want to express the fullest version of myself, and I felt like that style of comedy content was almost doing a disservice to that. Yes, it kind of shows that like I have layers and that I can do other stuff, but if that's like me as a personal brand, I wouldn't want that.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree.
So yeah, when I first started making content, like I just wanted to fully express that version of myself, and I knew that like if I had gone through all of these things and I talked to my friends who are also successful, who have done the same thing and like kind of thought the same way, that there has to be other people out there, and like if my message can help them, my story can help them, that's incredible. I also will say it was largely selfish too. Like it just felt like I've got shit to talk about now. Why would I not do it? Like, but in a good way. And it ended up kind of helping a lot of people and inspiring people, and it's built my coaching business. Like that's all been really sick, and it's kind of a byproduct of the whole journey. Like the whole journey to making money, to reach a point where you have enough shit to say on camera where other people find it interesting and unique and valuable. Yeah. That's like the whole amalgamation of your life and my life to this point. Yeah. Real shit.
Real shit.
Should we wrap it here?
What?
You want to wrap it here?
You have any last thoughts? Any deep topics you want to go over?
Okay, I guess last one for you.
Okay, let's go.
If you had to go back to the version of yourself who was making a few grand a month, like you started to believe it was real, but you kind of wanted a path to millions of dollars, what would that advice be?
Know, this is going to sound, know that you can control like unseen forces, that you can create your own reality and you can literally control absolutely everything in your life, just becoming conscious about it. Because that was the thing, is like, I lacked the mindset, and the moment my mindset clicked, everything changed. So like I realized that like I can control every single thing around me. Like everything.
Yeah.
Like I can control someone else's mind on me. That sounds weird too, but you can.
Yeah.
Like, so your life is in full control. And I used to use like God as a cop-out and be like, oh, God's gonna, because I tried to be like religious and stuff like that. I was like, oh, God's gonna plan my life and everything's gonna go smooth. But no, he gave you the power to make your own plan and to create your own reality. Yeah. And I didn't believe you could do these things. Like some people watching this might not even believe, like, they're like, oh, what is he talking about? Like manifestation, create your own reality. But it's a real thing. Like all of the power is on you. And that's what I would have told myself. I can control absolutely everything.
Mm-hmm. That's a big one, dude.
Yeah.
It's such a big one because you probably didn't have this as much, but I always had this kind of thought that was wrong, but it was like something or someone is going to come and save me. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until I fully discarded that I was ready to be successful.
So what would you tell yourself?
Just that like something's going to happen. I'm going to meet something. I'm going to have some random life event that becomes that turning point. And typically that's not going to happen. Like that's just not going to work. So I guess biggest thing, like, on a very similar note, conviction is probably the only thing that really matters. People dumber than you are getting rich because they have more conviction than you. And the way you build conviction is listening to your gut, as corny as it sounds, whenever you kind of reach an impasse and you're looking over the edge and thinking about jumping. Yeah. It's really easy to talk yourself out of it whenever you're going to make like a big change in your life. But if you can kind of block out your conscious brain, I guess, and sometimes like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, 100%.
When you reach those points, it's like, there's this one quote that I saw on Twitter a while ago. The real utility of thinking is knowing what thoughts not to listen to.
No, 100%, because I don't think sometimes, because if you think that like you're fully 1000% controlling your thoughts, try to stop thinking for 5 seconds. You cannot shut your thoughts off. Yeah. So obviously there's going to be some thoughts that you get in your head that like you obviously are not going to listen to. Right. Like, oh, this sounds like if you got, okay, I'm not even going to say that one. It's like, oh, cheating on your girlfriend. And then your thoughts like, no, I'm not going to do that. Little things like that. I'm not saying I get those thoughts, but it's like little things like that. Yeah. It's like, obviously you can't listen to that side of you.
Right. You have to be smart enough to know when that's just like your kind of bitch voice. Yeah. And I think it'll be a bit more quiet in the way that it'll persuade you into not taking an action.
Do you have negative thoughts?
Yes. But I know when I shouldn't listen to them.
Like daily negative thoughts? Because I'll be brutally honest, I cannot tell you the last time. I've never had a negative day in the last year and a half of my life. I don't get negative thoughts at all. Like I can't like think of the last time I got like a negative thought that came inside of my head. It's like everything just seems so blissful and perfect for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say you've probably just done a really good job of like not listening to them to the point where not only do they lose power, but like they don't even try anymore.
Yeah, shut off.
I'd say I'm very good at knowing when I'm just kind of being a bitch. And I'm able to separate myself from my thoughts, but I also wouldn't say that I don't have negative thoughts entirely.
Yeah, but what would those... They're not truly even like negative thought. Like if you do have like a negative thought in your head, like, oh, you wake up and like you don't feel the best or whatever like the negative thought is, they kind of don't, you can like say no and like completely shut it off. What does that fly?
Yeah.
He was just on your shirt earlier.
Guy's a little bitch ass.
It's right there. He just fell. You got him.
Yeah.
But like negative thoughts to me, like I think I don't get them because I don't believe they exist. And I feel like that's the one part that plays like a big part in my life of like the God aspect. Is like, and I don't even want to use God as a cop-out. I mean, I say like I have like self-power in myself. Like God gave me a soul toward the point where I can shut out negative thoughts and they don't even come to me. Yeah. Like I don't get them at all because and there's a thing about belief. Like how strong do you think belief can take us? The reason I got into all this stuff, the reason I can even like speak about certain topics that 99% of people wouldn't even know about is because like for a year and a half of my life, that's all I did is knowledge. Because I wanted to know how far I could take myself as a human. I wanted to know how far my beliefs could take me. I wanted to know how powerful or whatever you want to call it, I could get. So that's how I got obsessed with these things. So like, how far do you think belief can truly take you? Like, do you think that in your mind, you can believe, if you believe everything, nothing can go wrong, nothing at all. No negative thoughts, nothing can go wrong, everything's gonna be perfect, and you like full-heartedly believe it, actually like deep inside of you that you could have a negative thought? Or do you think like belief is like 1000% everything?
I think it's the majority, but I do think you need a sprinkle of practicality. I think like there are some people that delusional confidence has served me way more than it's hurt me.
Yeah.
But I can understand where someone could go a bit too far and like be so sold on a certain idea that they're kind of blind to other possibilities around them. But even then, would that serve you more than having less belief? Yeah. Yes. But I think I've done a good job of like being stern with my beliefs and questioning what was pushed onto me versus what's my own unique idea, but also keeping them relatively flexible. If I find data or if I can kind of determine that a singular belief doesn't serve me anymore. But from a self-belief side, I mean, that's the whole beginning, right? Like if you don't actually believe that it's possible, then it never will be possible for
Never
you.
At all. That's the one thing is like people cannot even like have some sort of sense of belief. Like they're so far away from their true purpose and from their soul. Like they have zero belief and like they don't even put their belief in anything at all.
Yeah.
That's the sad part. It's like we have human potential and then someone was like, oh, I could believe in these things and they could come true, but they don't even have a belief towards anything.
Yeah.
It's just empty.
Like no strong opinions.
Nothing.
I know.
Nothing. And I feel like that's like the strongest thing that we have that we can use.
Yeah.
It's like our, soul, mind, they all like tying together and stuff like that. Did you ever like go down like a journey of like figuring out what's inside of like your subconscious? Because I don't know if you're like too familiar with like Carl Jung, but he's like, you will never like obviously like become, you'll never get like a fulfilled life. You'll never reach like individual fulfillment if you don't make your unconscious conscious, which means like the things that are inside of our unconscious mind that are telling us that we try to like shut out basically. Would you talk about this all the time? Like shutting certain things out like that, which is like, I guess like the dark things, lies inside of our subconscious and we think it's a bad thing. Like I thought, and this was the one limiting belief that I truly had because I was told it my whole life is like not only making money is bad, but God is looking at me differently because I'm making money. I used to think that a lot. And then another thing was my life would go so perfect for months, 3 months. And I tell myself, my life is too good right now. Something bad is going to happen, which I feel like that's a lot of what people think. I shut it out completely now. I do not get that. I would tell myself that and then bad would happen.
Yeah.
And I would be like, what? So I started realizing like, what the hell? Like
it's just a narrative.
Yeah.
And it will become true.
Yeah.
If you believe it'll come true.
So I stopped thinking that now. And like, I can only think my life is going to be completely perfect. And then now it is, I guess. But what was like the things like, did you ever go down a path where you wanted to figure out what's inside of like your subconscious mind and stuff like that?
Yeah. I think I really started to explore that through journaling. Like I was very consistent journaling for probably a year or two, like pretty much every day. And I would go pretty deep there. I would just like fully articulate whatever I was thinking. And I was able to get into kind of a rhythm where there was no filter. And I think that helped me develop a really deep relationship with myself. I spent a lot of time alone. Like I love alone time, bro.
So do I. Isolation's the best.
Yeah. Like I can't, if I'm around people for too long, I start to lose my mind.
Yeah, Sam.
So I spent a lot of time alone and I spent a good amount of time reflecting. So I think it was a combination of those three things where I had enough alone time to just have enough thoughts going on where I could like kind of look at it from a third party perspective and just see myself and see my thoughts not as me, but as thoughts.
Yeah.
And then I would sit down every night and just reflect on the day and what I was thinking and just like have a real kind of solid outline of it. And then the third part was like actually having a mission and something that was challenging me that I was trying to improve.
Do you ever try to shut off your thoughts? Like, cause me, like my mind, I have 1,000 thoughts per second. But like, I love it though. And I know which ones obviously like, oh, we'll obviously follow that one, get that one away. But do you ever try to like shut off your thoughts? Because me, I used to journal. I never really meditated, I'm not gonna lie. I never did any of that stuff. But I did journal for a while. But I haven't journaled in like 6 months. Yeah. And my life got a lot better when like I kind of like stopped journaling.
I think all those things can serve a purpose.
Yes, I think so too. But I think it can also fuck some people up. Like them like journaling, like because they're like imagine you're told you can write "I am rich" on a piece of paper. You know, people give that stupid ass advice.
Yeah.
I am rich on a piece of paper, and I did these things.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't come true, and they're like, "Fuck, it's not coming true. It's not coming true," and then it just messes them up even more.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, everyone has their own unique way of like what works for them and how they become successful. But I think one of the main things was isolation for me. That year and a half just grind time where not even like working on businesses and stuff like that, like just knowledge and just like researching and stuff like that. That's, I think, was the best thing that ever happened to me and that I ever did.
Yeah. I went through kind of a similar stage where I would do all of the corny fucking Atomic Habits, Think and Grow Rich stuff. And I do think it served me at that point in my life. Not because of some kind of spiritual thing even, but more because it just kept it front of mind. Like rather than, oh, I want to make money, I want to be rich, being something that was kind of running in my subconscious, it just brought it to the surface regularly. And I would write little sticky notes on my mirror, like I'm going to make 10K this month and put it on my mirror. So shit like that, I would just put reminders everywhere. And then there was a phase where I was meditating relatively consistently. I can't tell you the last time I really meditated. Most of my meditations I do through walking, right?
Walking. I go on 2-hour-long walks every night.
Yeah.
Walking is the best thing in the world. Do you listen to music when you're walking? No? Completely silent?
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to do that. But now I have just like music blasting in my ears. I have way better thoughts like that.
Really?
I just feel like I'm on top of the world.
Yeah.
Like with music playing. But walks, that's key. I've never heard anyone say like walking is the best thing that I've done in the last 6 months of my life.
Yeah.
Every night, like 2-hour-long walks where I get like home and I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
Those are the best.
Yeah, I'd say walking and journaling have served as like my real meditation / kind of introspective points that really helped me understand who I was.
What do you do on your walks?
I just think.
Just think.
Yeah. Like, and I have a
like
great time.
I know.
Like, I've heard people say, oh, walking's boring. It's not boring when you fuck with yourself.
Exactly. When you love yourself and you love your thought. That sounds even like more like selfish and egotistical. But I like talking to myself more than I like talking to anyone. Yeah. Like, literally. I love it.
Legit, bro.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
You want to wrap it up?
Good shit, brother.
That's fire.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, like, subscribe, comment. Check out Hudson's YouTube as well.
Yes.
Peace.